Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher. Chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is Monday, which means it is Monday motivation time. So it's 8:04, so it's that time. So welcome in, everybody. So glad to see you popping in, seeing your avatars and your names. I always want to say faces, but I'm not seeing your faces. No, some of y'all. So, but welcome in. If you are new to my channel, you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I'm your host of Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivation. So welcome in. Glad you are here. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel, ring that bell for all notifications, and a thumbs up on your way in, on your way out. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So again, if you are new, I'm so glad to have you here. If you want to let me know that you're new, that's great. If not, that's fine too. But I also do auctions on my channel as well throughout the week. Just look at for the thumbnails. That's why subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications is so important, even though every now and then the notification doesn't work. But that's beside the point. All the OGs are coming in. So good to see you. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for always coming back for Monday. And the playback crew. Cannot forget the playback crew. Thank you for always watching, playing it in the background. There are times that even I will play some of mine in the background just because I'm having a rough day and I just need to hear something. And I don't always remember what I tell you guys. So sometimes it's kind of good to have that refresher for myself. So if you are the playback crew, let me know in comments below the video that you are the playback crew. And feel free to participate in the chat participation questions tonight. That would be awesome as well. Good. I'm glad he's driving. So let's see who all is in chat and then we'll get started. I will go ahead and tell you guys this topic I was having a hard time with getting motivated, in other words. So hopefully y'all will like it. It always surprises me of what y'all like and I'm going, I didn't really feel that one. So we'll see. We'll see how tonight goes. First in is Kraken. Yay, you got your turtles. Awesome. Kraken, I was just telling Selena how much I like you and your jokes and everything. Like, it's just a bright spot to my day when I see you in chat. So welcome in, Kraken. We got Kathy here. Hey, Kathy, welcome in. I love what you did with those 10 boxes, and even the mesh box thing that you bought for me. You turn that thing into something else, you know. And I'm like, I feel like I'm creative, but I think I'm more creative when it comes to the technology, like putting videos together, things like that. But when it comes to like actually crafting, I don't feel so creative. We got Steph in here. Hey, Steph, and hey, Mr. Steph. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. And then we got Joanne here. Hey, Joanne, are you resting finally? Are you finally resting? You've had a busy day. Right? Back stores be overrated. Yeah. I would agree with you. Hey, Nancy, welcome in. Good to see you. And we got Tammy Dream Chaser here. Welcome in. Good to see you. Kraken Mary, how are you? Welcome in. I love the panda. That is so cute. All right, let's see who else. We got Mama Sands in the chat. Welcome in, Mama Sands. We got Lisa D here. Hey, Lisa D. Good to see you all. Yeah, that's where she said, go put you on the big screen. I like being on the big screen, maybe. I don't know, can you see more of my wrinkles and everything when you put me on the big screen? It's more like flat, you know? Yeah, I did say hello to Lisa D, right? See, here we go. All right, I did say hi to you. Right, Lisa D? Oh, here we go. A man went to see a lady of the night. The next day, he found out that he had crab, so he went to her and complained, to which she said, for $5, what did you expect? Lobsters? Oh, I love it. Wait, who are you talking to, Lisa D? You get my email this time. I sent you one Saturday. You must not got that one. Are you talking to me or someone else in chat? Is it Joanne? Okay, Joanne. Okay, cool. I was like, did I miss something? Speaking of cool, hey, Cool Ranch. Good to see you, sister. Welcome in. Mary, how are you? I got so tickled at you going, I don't see you. And I was like, which I think you might have been pulling a joke on me. I was like, that's one from long ago. Let's see. You're moving the sales area? Where are you moving it? We got Selena in here, my feather sister. Welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, it's just a rough week. As far like I'm exhausted still from Saturday. I think because I've had 2 very busy weekends in a row. I think that was last weekend we did Bo Brooks. So yeah. I know, Kraken is a hot mess. I was live over on Dream Chasers channel, but you were commenting on the Galaxy short that I did a while back, and I haven't been on Galaxy in forever. Y'all remember my Galaxy days? That was before Whatnot, or it might have came out right at the same time as Whatnot, but before Poshmark had live, before anybody else was doing live. Okay. Awesome. Back to the kitchen. Gotcha. That'll be different again, right? I'm just tired, you know. It was dark and gloomy, you know. Time is about to change, and it was raining here this morning. I just did not want to get up, and so yesterday I did not go anywhere. But we'll get into that. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend as always. Friday, I took Shelby to get her wisdom teeth out, and I'm happy to report that she did very well. She was alert afterwards, which we were both shocked. I thought she'd be like really, really groggy, but she was just semi-groggy. She has had just a little bit of swelling and some pain, but other than that, she is doing amazing well. But she is my daughter that has a high pain tolerance. She obviously did not get that from me. So, yeah, I'm thinking, you know, with the whole hurricane thing is probably why we're getting all the rain. All right, cool, yes. No thunder to scare Molly Pup. Bella never has she's only gotten kind of nervous or anxious when we thought we were having tornadoes that one night. I think I was on live or whatever. That's the one time she's gotten really nervous. Otherwise, she sleeps right through everything. So, yeah, we had a little bit of a break this afternoon as well, but I'm sure we got more coming this week. So I just do not need rain on Thursday because Matt now has had a rock hit his windshield. If y'all been paying attention to the truck stories with my boss, like that truck is voodoo. Robert and I are convinced, but he had a rock hit his windshield that it hit so hard that it probably did about a half inch into the windshield itself, and then it spread. And like there was a piece of glass that flew onto Matt. But anyway, he's supposed to get his windshield replaced Thursday, so we're hoping no rain so he can get it done. Let's see. If you guys did not catch the short from Saturday, you need to go watch it for one. But I took Tammy to my favorite type of auction. It's a auction warehouse estate company here locally. They're my favorite group of people. I do a lot of my business with them out of all the different auction houses here and stuff. But they're my favorite people out of all of them. But Tammy and I bought so much stuff Saturday that we had to make not one, not two, but 3 trips to get it all done. So we loaded up my car. I had Robert's SUV, loaded it up, brought it back, got Tammy's truck, went back, got another load, came back, dropped that off, and went back and got another load. So, and it was hot. It was so stupid hot. And most of it, I would say the majority of it was outside. And then we went inside. So we were there we got there just before 10 a.m. because it started at 10 a.m. The auction went all the way till 2 or a little after 2 or so. And then we had to load up after the auction with the first load and then make 2 more trips back. But it was after 8 p.m. by the time I got home. And then I had to unload my car because I had just left my car at hometown when we went to go get Tammy's truck. So I had to unload all that. So anyways, I know we forgot the file cabinets. How did we forget the file cabinets? Did you contact John and ask and tell him that we would get those? But you know, it was like ridiculous deals, like stupid deals. You just couldn't pass it up. So Cool said, I really think that dogs have a sixth sense when it comes to storm. Like she can feel it in her low bones. I know some dogs can. And maybe Bella does, but she doesn't ever make it like known. Let's see. Yeah, right. Like people can sense that too. Hey, Harry, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate you. Yeah, I'm surprised John hasn't texted me. Usually he'll text me. Because when Selena was here, they thought Selena had bought something, but she hadn't. And they texted me immediately like, hey, y'all gonna come pick this up? I'm like, we didn't buy that. Well, she didn't buy that. But anyways. So tonight we are starting to cover the 4th law of behavior change, which is the last law in this series. And the 4th law states that in order for us to set up a habit successfully, we have to make it satisfying. There's got to be something that we're getting out of doing this habit, whatever habit it may be for you. We have to make it rewarding for us and in order for us to keep doing whatever the new habit is that we want to create. And in order to also continue to do so, or if it's a short-term habit, then make it rewarding for even, completing it. So first up, we've got what gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets punished gets avoided. Don't reward behavior you don't want to see repeated. And that's how we are with when our kids were little, or grandkids, or family member kids, whatever little kids you want to use. And that funny, if they start throwing a tantrum, we wouldn't reward that for them throwing a tantrum. Same thing for us as adults. We just throw different tantrums, right? Sometimes, hopefully not out loud, but I'm sure some of us have. But again, tonight's topic is on behavior change and what the cardinal rule of the behavior change is. So, first out of the gate, chat participation time. If you are new to my channel, you don't know what it is, I give you a star for every time you participate in the chat. When I say it's chat participation time, you're welcome to chat throughout the whole night. But when I say chat participation time, if you participate in whatever that is, then you get a star and you get entered into the monthly drawing, which we will do the monthly drawing 2 weeks from tonight. So 2 weeks from tonight, we will do the drawing for the chat participation for the month of September. Can y'all believe we're almost in October? Like, this year has flown. So chat participation time. What do you look for when you are buying soap and or, if you don't buy soap, or you buy both, toothpaste? What is it that you're looking for when you're buying either a hand soap and a toothpaste? And I know you're thinking, Scooter, what in the world does this have anything to do with tonight's topic or even Monday motivation at all? I'm just curious. What are you looking for when you buy hand soap? I know when I worked at Bath and Body Works, people would come in just to get the hand soap because it foamed up. It was fun for the kids, fun for the family to use a foaming hand soap. Some people like the smell, obviously, and then the toothpaste, So let's see. Harry says antibacterial killer. There you go. I think it's funny because I only have like a couple. Well, I don't know. I got these at different times. So I don't know if you want to, one, two. Well, no, I got this one. One, and then two. And I got a heart on my ankle. And you always got to use that special dowel soap when you get a tattoo. Quality and on budget, Steph says. Nancy Smith says, smells good, right? Yes. Sandy says smell. Mary says chemical safety. Yes. Tammy says, I have to buy Crest Original because it does not have a lot of peroxide in it. And I'm allergic to peroxide. See, I'm allergic to anything, which, believe it or not, a lot of your toothpaste has tartar control in it. And my gums, they get all red if I use tartar control. So my hygienist is like, you're allergic to it then. Lisa D says, gluten-free soap and refreshing clean toothpaste. Love it. Joanne says, how it smells. Cool says, whitening toothpaste. And I always have Mary Kay hand soap on hand. I didn't know they made hand soap. Selena says, tropical for soap, toothpaste the same every time. Look at Kathy. I make my own toothpaste. I like smells for soap. Yes. Why can't you see Selena? Selena, can you see Lisa D? Lisa D saying she can't see you. That's weird. Oh, now she sees you. Okay. All right. I was like, wait, what's going on? So, the reason why I asked you that question, and thank you to all of you that participated in I think, fun little question, because it's interesting to see how different people think about things and stuff. But back in the late 90s, there was a dedicated public health care worker named Stephen Luby, and he decided to actually leave his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, with having a little bit of a sense of adventure in him and everything. He purchased a one-way ticket and set off for Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi, Pakistan. I'm trying to make sure I can remember to say that because that's not how I want to pronounce it. So, possibly Lisa D. Liquid exfoliating hand soap. I never knew that. And Kraken says, I'm safe as long as it doesn't say concentrate. Love it. Really? That's interesting. Harry Seelig. Tablet you chew is like toothpaste. How convenient. Is that legit? Because you're the jokester of my group. So is that a legit thing? As someone messaged me the other night and said, don't fall for the Mike Hunt thing. Oh, Kraken. I never know when you're being serious. Wait, and that was Harry that said that. Dang it. It was Harry, not Kraken. So I'm safe if Harry says it. So anyways, Karachi is among the world's largest city, and is truly the heart of Pakistan's economy and a major transportation hub as well. And it has some of the busiest airports and seaports in that area. And in the lively commercial district, you'll discover the urban conveniences that you could add, all that you could even ask for. They have a vibrant downtown streets to a variety of shops and services. But however, despite its energy and amenities, Karachi is also considered one of the least livable cities globally. In Karachi, there's more than 60% of the population that resides in informal settlements and slums. The housing part. In these crowded neighborhoods, they're made up of makeshift homes that assemble from old boards, cinder blocks, and other, materials that people would just throw away and not even use. And unfortunately, they lack basic services like waste management, electricity, and clean drinking water. And then on the dry days, the streets are a mixture of dust and litter, while rain turns them into a muddy swamp, if you will, and it's just filled with sewage. And so that's where, stagnant water becomes a breeding ground for the mosquitoes, and children are often playing around all the trash on the streets and everything. Needless to say, it's poor living conditions, and it, was rampant on illness and diseases because of that. And the contaminated water sources have just triggered outbreaks of, diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach pain. Shockingly, right? Just stay home. Yes. Right, Mary? Yes. But shockingly, almost a third of the children there were suffering from malnutrition. Now, this is from the 90s. They were suffering from malnutrition. And with so many people crammed together in such a tight space, as you can imagine, that viruses and bacterial infection would spread like wildfire. And I thought of my stepdad, because I got a call on Saturday while I was trying to load up stuff, and they said that, your dad's roommate has been diagnosed with COVID. And so they were like, what do you want us to do with him? And, do you want us to put him in another room? Whatever. And I'm like, well, the chances of him being exposed have already been done. So I was like, whatever y'all want to do, I kind of trust their judgment. And so they decided that they were going to isolate him within the room of his roommate or something like that. I don't know. That's where you bought your 2-hump camel? By 1-hump model. Yeah, 1-hump model. Hey, Robin Tyson. Yeah, he's already exposed, so it's kind of like, he's going to be 74 in 2 days and in the nursing home. I just find that shocking to myself, because I have clients that are 74 and older, and, they're not in that situation. But anyways, we're not going to go there. But, all that just spread like wildfire, and the health crisis is what brought Stephen Luby to Pakistan to begin with. Luby and his team, they noticed that in places with poor sanitation, the simple act of washing hands could truly improve the health of the community. However, they quickly learned that many people in that area, were already aware of how important hand washing was. So despite knowing how important hand washing was, many residents were still washing their hands in rather careless ways. Some would quickly rinse their hands under the water, not doing, 30 seconds or something like that. While others, they would only wash one hand because they only use one hand, I guess, to wipe, whatever. Many even forgot to wash their hands before preparing food. That's awesome, Kraken. He got his turtles. That is so cool, Kathy. But they would not wash their hands before food, and before preparing food. And you go in bathrooms and it always says all workers must wash their hands before going back to the kitchen. I agree, Harry. 100%. I agree. So Although everyone acknowledged that their hand washing is crucial, very few actually made it a regular practice. So the issue wasn't a lack of knowledge, it was simply a lack of consistency is what it was. So that's when Libby and his team, they teamed up with Procter & Gamble. We've all heard of Procter & Gamble, right? And they brought Safeguard soap, if you've ever seen that, ever used it or whatever, they brought that to these neighborhoods. And they found using Safeguard is just a lot more enjoyable than your regular bar of soap, which is why I was asking about y'all soap, what y'all look for. Libby shared that in Pakistan, Safeguard was considered a top-tier soap, top-of-the-line type thing. And many participants in the study, they enthusiastically remarked on how much they loved using it. It created a rich foam that made lathering their hands a delightful experience, especially for the kiddos. And plus, it had a fantastic scent. And that suddenly, washing hands became a little more enjoyable. Yes, Kraken, you will have to buy some wax. He even said that for me, promoting hand washing is less about changing behavior, and it's more about getting people to adopt a new habit. He also said that it's much easier for individuals to embrace a product that delivers a delightful sensory experience, but like the fresh mini flavor of toothpaste. In contrast, adopting a habit, though, that lacks that pleasurable feedback, such as flossing, that can be a tougher sell to people. Nobody wants to floss their teeth because there's nothing exciting about it, right? But that's why the marketing team at Procter & Gamble is focused on creating a really positive hand washing experience. Has a pleasant scent, right? So in just a few months, the researchers, they actually noticed a remarkable improvement in the health of the local children. The diarrhea rates dropped by an impressive 52%. Pneumonia cases, they decreased by 48%. And then there was the incidence of the bacterial skin infections that you could think of. They fell by 35%. So the long-term results were even more impressive to the group. Libby said that he revisited some households in Karachi 6 years later. And more than 95% of the homes that received free soap and were encouraged to wash their hands had a hand washing station set up with soap and water when their study team went by there. This is 6 years later. And even though they hadn't provided any soap to this group for over 5 years, they had actually formed such a strong habit of hand washing during the trial that they continued to do so after the trial. But this is a fantastic example of the fourth and final law of behavior change that we've been going over, and that is make it satisfying. You know, we tend to do things again when they make us feel good. And that makes perfect sense, right? Why we would want to do something again that hurt us or, wasn't good for us. And it's those little moments of happiness, like the nice smell, the rich lather of the soap when washing your hands. It sends a message to our brain saying, hey, this is enjoyable. Let's do this again next time. No, you're not thinking that way, but that's what your brain, that's the communication is getting. Pleasure essentially teaches your brain that a certain action is worth remembering and repeating. So let's do another chat participation time. Now I want to know, we're going to go from soap and toothpaste. Now I want to know who all in here chews gum and who all remembers the Wrigley's flavors. Yes, I know that one, Kraken. Oh my God. You are so funny, Kraken. So, who all in here chews gum and who remembers the Wrigley flavors? Wrigley's Spearmint. Yes, Cool Ranch. Mary, clove and spearmint. They had a clove one? I don't remember that one. Cool Ranch says used to chew gum. Harry says, I remember Wrigley's, but didn't chew it. I remember that Wrigley's was great when you first chewed it, and then the flavor disappeared rather quickly, in my opinion. I know he is, right, Steph? Nancy Smith, Big Red. That was one of my favorites. Lisa D says, I chew gum about 2 or 3 times a week. Kathy says, not a gum chewer, but do remember Wrigley's. Joanne says, I do chew, but I remember spearmint and peppermint. Yes. Robin says, I do. Whoops. Sorry, chat jumped on me. The clove was awful. I don't remember that one. Whoops. There it goes again. Sometimes, and yes, remember. Steph says. Mary says, yes, Big Red, right? That was probably one of my favorites, was Big Red. Double mint. I was waiting for someone to say the double mint gum, the double mint twins. Isn't that what they call them? Kraken says Big Red and Juicy Fruit and the stripes. Yes, who remembers the stripes? I love the stripes. Lisa D says Wrigley, Juicy Fruit. Yes. While we're talking about it, Robert and I, we got hooked on these. We got them from Target one time, and I've been hooked on them ever since. But Mentos, Pure Fresh. See, it even says Pure Fresh. It is bubblegum flavor. I love these. And, of course, I can never just chew one piece. I always got to have 2 pieces of gum. I don't know why, but that's just me. Robert's like, you're going through that quick. Joanne said, I remember clove, blackjack, and tea-berry. Blackjack. I forgot about blackjack. Tea-berry I never heard of either. That's 2 of them. Dream Chaser says spearmint. Joanne says, I meant to say I don't chew. Yes, or another favorite of mine was Trident back in the day, because that was like a small piece of gum. Blackjack, clove, and tea-berry. See, blackjack I heard of, but was blackjack, what flavor was blackjack? So now let's talk about the journey of the chewing gum. While it was available for sale as far back as the 1800s, it really took off globally after Wrigley made its debut in 1891. Hey, 710, welcome in. Good to see you. And so the early versions of the gum were pretty dull, as you can imagine. It was chewy, yes, but not much in the flavor department. And Wrigley, licorice flavor. That's what I was thinking if I wasn't sure. But Wrigley changed the game by introducing exciting flavors like spearmint, juicy fruit, or how about the double mint? You know, who remembers these? Apparently all y'all remember these. But Wrigley was turning chewing gum into a delightful treat. But they didn't stop there. They also marketed it as the way to keep your mouth clean, encouraging folks to refresh your taste in their ads, which is why I said that. I was like, oh, this is Pure Fresh, Bubble Fresh on the Mentos. With its delicious flavors and refreshing sensation, using the product felt truly satisfying. There's that 4th law. So people loved it. Wrigley was leading to surge in the consumption, and it quickly became the world's top chewing gum company. Toothpaste has a similar story. Companies saw a great success when they introduced fun flavors like spearmint, peppermint, and cinnamon. While these flavors don't actually make the toothpaste work any better, they sure do create a refreshing, clean mouth feeling and make brushing your teeth a lot more enjoyable. Now, I use Sensodyne because, again, I can't use anything that has tartar control in it. And so I have to use the gum, whatever, one on Sensodyne. But Robert uses like Crest, or he'll sometimes go to Colgate or whatever. But I have to be real careful about which one. Dentine, is that the one I was thinking of? I think that's, or was it Trident? One of those. But anyways, but a lot of people don't like the Sensodyne because there's not a strong flavor in it. So it doesn't bother me. I can use it. Okay, tastes like bubble gum, the tea berry. Gotcha. So on the flip side, if an experience leaves us unsatisfied, we're unlikely to want to go through that again, right? So during my research, I encountered a story about a woman dealing with a narcissistic relative who drove her up the wall. It wasn't me. But I think we can all pretty much say that we've all have dealt with a narcissist before. But to minimize her time with this self-absorbed individual, she decided to act as boring and as unexciting as possible whenever he was around. And before long, after a few awkward meetings, he started steering clear of her because he found her just to be too dull to be around. Right, Steph? Yes. Was there? They need to have it still. I remember there was a gum, like if you had a sore throat. I do remember that. Because I was like, oh, I want that gum. It's like orange flavor or something. Mom was like, you don't have a sore throat. Yes, I do. So stories like these, they highlight a key principle of changing behavior. When you reward something, it's likely to happen again, while punishment tends to push it away. So your future actions are influenced by the rewards and punishments that you're experiencing in the past. Positive feelings will foster good habits, while negative feelings can break them down. It's all about how we learn from our experiences. To help you stick to new habits, start with the first 3 laws of the behavior change that we have covered, which were make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy. And these strategies are going to boost your chance of actually doing the behavior right now. We need to have a quiz on, if y'all can remember these. But anyways, and once you establish those 3 laws, the 4th law is making it satisfying. It ensures that you'll want to do it again next time. And together, these steps complete what we have talked about in the past, the habit loop that we went over a while back. Mary says, I chewed Nicorette gum for a whole year, but it did the trick. Really? Okay. I've never heard if it actually worked or not. I've never had to worry about it, but I never, my stepdad was a smoker. My dad was a smoker. There's a lot of people in my family that were smokers. Oh no, Lisa D. When I was young, I found the chocolate X-Lax in the cabinet. I could read it. I ate it thinking it was candy. Oh, I learned what it was a hard way, right? That's like everybody was always talking about making chocolate chip cookies with those, right? Just to get back at somebody. So there's a little catch to all this, though. There is a little catch. We're not after just any kind of satisfaction. We want that instant gratification. So there's a mismatch between immediate and delay rewards. So another chat participation time. I made these fun tonight because I was struggling to get through these notes. But chat participation time. If you were an animal in Africa, what kind of animal would you be? So we cover toothpaste, we cover gum. I've done forgotten what the first thing was. Let's see. What was the first one? Now I'm like lost. Oh, hand soap, toothpaste, gum. We've talked about it all. Now we're going to throw animals in there. If you were an African animal, if you were an animal in Africa, what kind of animal would you be? So let's see what everybody thinks that their spirit animal is. Oh, gross, Kraken. Tammy says a cougar. I bet, right? Nancy Smith says a tiger. Mary says a lion. Kathy said elephant. Joanne says a tiger. Look at cool, a lioness. Yes. Harry says, like, I took an X-Lax and put it in a Hershey bar paper because someone kept eating my chocolate, found out it was brother. And you find out real quick who it was, right? Robin says a giraffe. Lisa D says a cheetah. Oh, look at Kraken. Black mamba. There you go. Steph says hippo. If you know, you know, right? Great lookout scouts. Yes, on the giraffe. I was like, wait, what does that mean? Steph said hippos are brutal, just saying. So, now I want you to picture yourself as one of these amazing animals wandering the African plains, if you will. You got to close your eyes and picture what animal that is. Y'all know what I would be. I don't think they're in Africa, though. But each day, the choices you have that you make have immediate consequences as an animal in Africa. That's what I'm saying. I want you to picture yourself as that. Ah, looky here. Cool says, I wouldn't mind being a rhinoceros as an alternative. So Mr. Steph says, rhino. So picture yourself as this animal. Whatever animal you just said in chat, I want you to picture yourself as that animal. And you are constantly thinking about what to munch on, where to catch some Z's, and how to steer clear of any lurking predators. Your mind is always tuned to the present moment or thinking in the near future, living in what scientists would describe as an immediate return environment, where your actions yield where your actions yields quick and clear results. Cheat out, run everything, right? All right, now let's get back to being a human for a moment. In today's world, many of the decisions that you make, we all know, most of them won't pay off right away, right? I knew what you meant, Lisa D. You know, for example, if you work hard at your job, you'll see that paycheck come in a couple of weeks. It's not an instant pay, right? Unless you're working for yourself, possibly. But, you know, maybe you go to the gym today. You might avoid being overweight next year. And if you stash some cash away in your savings account or your brokerage account or whatever it is that you put your cash in, you can find yourself better prepared for retirement in decades to come. It's not immediate. We live in what scientists call a delayed return environment, where your efforts might not bear fruit until much later. And our brains, they aren't really designed for the kind of world that we live in today, where we often don't see immediate results for our efforts. The earliest known modern humans, or the Homo sapiens, they date back around 200,000 years, right? So these pioneers, they had brains that were quite similar to ours, but interestingly, the neocortex, where that is in our brain, the part of the brain responsible for advanced functioning like language, was about the same size back then as it is now. So in a way, you're walking around with the same brain hardware as your ancient ancestors from the Paleolithic era. I think I said that right. But in the grand scheme of things, it's only been about the last 500 years that we've actually seen our society transition into what we now call a delayed return environment. When you think about it, modern life is a blink of an eye compared to how long the human brain has been around. Just look at the post-century, or the past century. We welcome cars, we welcome airplanes, the televisions, personal computers, the internet, smartphones, and even certain icons like Beyonce or some of the bigger icons into our world. And while technology has evolved rapidly, the core of the human nature has surprisingly remained quite steady. Just like other creatures on the African savanna, our ancestors, they focus on crucial daily activities, facing dangers, finding their next meal, and seeking shelter from the storms. And in that environment, it made perfect sense to prioritize immediate rewards. The far off future didn't really matter then. After countless generations living this way, our brains naturally develop a preference for quick gains over long-term benefits. We want it now, this instant. Awesome. Got to start somewhere, Robin. You got to start somewhere. Good work. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep me posted. Let me know how you're doing on that. And I saw your Facebook post, so I'm rooting you on, Robin. I'm rooting you on. So behavioral economists, they call that tendency time inconsistency. It means that how your brain weighs rewards can vary depending on when they are expected. Essentially, you tend to favor immediate rewards over future ones. And this instinct, it usually works to our advantage. I mean, after all, a sure thing right now is generally more appealing to us than a maybe down the road type thing. So, however, our desire for quick gratification can sometimes lead to challenges, right? So why do people continue to smoke knowing it raises their chances of lung cancer? Why do some choose to overeat despite understanding that it's going to lead to obesity? The key lies in how our brains handle rewards. The negative effects of these habits often don't show up until later, much later. And while the rewards are immediate for you, smoking, take that for example, while it might pose a long-term threat to your health, it offers a quick relief from stress and cravings that you have right now in this moment. Similarly to overeating, it can harm you in the future, but it sure feels satisfying in a moment when you're eating that chocolate chip cookie. Who's with me on that? You know, especially fresh baked cookies, it's all over with this girl. But every habit leads to a variety of results over time. Unfortunately, those results don't often align well with us. Still. When it comes to our bad habits, the immediate gratification feels good, but the long-term effects are usually unpleasant. On the flip side, good habits, they often start feeling tough or unenjoyable, but they ultimately lead to positive outcomes. Kind of like with listing. Do you think I like listing every day? No, but I am reaping the rewards of doing it every day, Monday through Friday. You know, it's not enjoyable to do this habit, but the reward is so much greater. Right? Exactly, Kraken. Yes. Same reason that a non-smoker deals with stress. Yes. So a French economist, Frederick, I could not pronounce his last name. I wasn't about to begin to, but he put it perfectly when he said, it almost always happens that when the immediate consequence is favorable, the later consequences are disastrous and vice versa. Often, the sweeter the first fruit of a habit, the more bitter are its later fruits. So to put it simply, when you indulge in good habits, you might feel the effort now, but with bad habits, the consequences, they tend to show up later down the road. Our brains, they are wired to focus on the here and now. So we can't always depend on good intentions alone. When you set a goal like shedding some pounds or picking up a new language or adding more to your income, you're actually making plans for the version of you that exists in the future. When you set a goal like shedding pounds, learning a new language, a new instrument, whatever, you want to add more income to what you make now, you're actually making plans for the version of you that exists in the future. I just love that. Kathy says, well, I've been doing short projects lately. It takes a while to crochet an Afghan. But the last few weeks, feel more productive with the little craft projects mixed in. Yes. It's fun when the ching comes with listing and all you got to do is package slap the shipping label on and get it sent. Right, Steph? Yes. Our future selves will thank us. Exactly. It's easy to see the importance of taking steps that benefit your long-term life. We all aspire to create a better life for our future selves. But when it comes to the time to make a decision, the lure of instant gratification often takes over. In those moments, you're not just thinking about future you who dreams of being healthier, richer, or happier. Instead, you're making a choice for present you who craves comfort, indulgence, and fun. That's why we talk about comfort zone so much, because it's the present you that wants to stay in that comfort zone instead of stepping out of it and being the future you. Generally speaking, the more immediate enjoyment that you get from an action, the more you should pause and consider if it fits with your long-term goals. That's probably a hard one, I would think. But now that we have a better grasp of why our brains tend to repeat certain actions while steering clear of others, let's refresh the cardinal rule of behavior change. We tend to repeat behaviors that bring us immediate rewards, and we shy away from those that lead to immediate punishment. Wanting immediate results is a natural tendency for many of us, and it highlights a key insight about achieving success. Most people find themselves caught up in chasing quick bursts of pleasure throughout the day. However, if you're willing to take the less conventional path of waiting for rewards, you'll often encounter less competition and you'll enjoy greater benefits. As they say, the final stretch is usually the quietest, right? Everybody's already given up. Steph says, I'm falling off the wagon a lot, not sobriety, and on new habits, but one that's walking our fur babies after our lives. Awesome. Cracker says, started doing, oh no, do I need to read this out loud? Yeah, I'm going to let everybody else read that. I don't know who Helen is, though. I don't know who Helen is. Tammy, have you taken your meds? So, research backs that up as well, that when people manage to delay gratification, they tend to score higher if you're doing SATs. You experience less substance abuse. You have a lower chance of becoming obese. You handle stress better and boast stronger social skills. And we can see examples of this all around us. For instance, if you choose to finish your homework or a project that you're working on, instead of watching TV, you're likely to understand more and you'll earn better grades. You'll get the project done. You might become a little bit, take that project a step further as well. Likewise, if you skip buying snacks like desserts and chips at the grocery store, you're more inclined to eat healthier options when you get home. Or not eat at all, right? Ultimately, achieving success in almost any area of life often means resisting immediate temptations in favor of rewards that come later. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Most of us understand that postponing instant rewards is the smarter path. We all understand that. We all desire the perks of good habits like being healthy, productive, and at ease. But when it really counts, those benefits often slip our minds. We get back into the victim mind, if you will. You know, poor me. I could have, if I wasn't doing this, I could have had that cookie, or I could have done whatever else instead of doing this. We get into that victim mindset. The good news is that we can train ourselves to wait for gratification, but we have to align our strategies with human nature rather than fight against it. A great way to achieve this is by mixing in a bit of immediate pleasure with the long-term habits that pay off and adding a touch of immediate discomfort to those that don't pay off. So how do we turn instant gratification into our advantage? The key to making a habit stick is to celebrate even the smallest successes. Kind of like Robin saying that she did the 2 blocks. She walked 2 blocks last week. That might seem so small, to her and to other people that, read that comment or whatever. But you got to celebrate that small success. So while you might have fallen off the wagon, Steph, you celebrate that you got it done last week. You got to add some celebrations in there instead of beating yourself up on everything that you didn't do. Feeling accomplished, it sends a clear message that your efforts are paying off and that what you're doing is truly worthwhile. In an ideal world, the best rewards for sticking to a good habit is simply enjoying the habit itself. But in reality, we usually only appreciate our good habits once they yield some tangible results. At first, it often feels like nothing but sacrifice. You might hit the gym a few times, yet you don't see any noticeable improvements in your strength, your fitness, or your speed, or your image, the weight on the scale. It is often only after a few months when you've lost some weight in your arms, or you've had to tighten the belt up some more in your pants to show some shape, that exercising just for the sake of it becomes easier. It was really easy for me when I was going to the gym twice a week. I got into it. It was just something that happened. And then, of course, everybody knows what happened, and that threw me off the track. But I want to get back on there at some point, Right? Had to start somewhere, Robin. Yes. Love it. Good night, Kraken. So at the start, you really need a reason to keep going. That's why having immediate rewards is so important. They help keep your enthusiasm alive while you wait for those long-term benefits to really kick in. And when we talk about immediate rewards, we're really focusing on how to end a behavior effectively. The conclusion of any experience plays a crucial role in how we remember it, often more than any other part of it. It's essential that the end of your habit feels satisfying. So a great way to accomplish this is through reinforcement, which means using immediate rewards to boost the likelihood of repeating a behavior. Why do you think dogs love the TREAT? I had to see if Bella was around. They keep doing that over and over. They keep sitting, they keep laying, they keep doing whatever trick it is that you want to do because they're getting that instant reward for doing it. They're getting that immediate reward for doing whatever behavior you ask your dog to do. So remember the habit stacking technique that we discussed a while back. It connects your new habit to a clear cue, making it easy to know when to get started. Me too, Kraken. Me too. So by linking your habit to an immediate reward, you create a gratifying finish that encourages you to keep going. Getting immediate rewards can really help when you're trying to break free from avoidance habits. Those behaviors you want to quit, it's tough to stay committed to goals like no impulse buys or no drinking this month, because skipping that happy hour or passing those cute shoes doesn't seem to have any immediate consequence for you. Oh, good grief. Let me go back. Joanne said, I fired my GPS lady on my phone and hired one from England. Oh, does she give you better directions? Steph said, I fired mine when she suggested I drive into oncoming traffic in South Carolina. I told her off, so she sent us through folks' backyards. Kathy said, over the weekend, I was thinking about stopping the squirrel watching. This morning, got a positive comment on how much the video is helping someone. That was my reinforcement, encouragement I needed. I can so understand that, Kathy, because there's some people that can't even go outside. And so you going out and videoing the squirrels, the rabbits, whatever it may be for that day, or when you go on your little trips and stuff, you videoing that gives people an outside to those that can't go outside, obviously. So I can see how that is very helpful. So good job. I'm proud of you, Kathy. So again, it's hard to feel fulfilled when you're not seeing any results right away, right, Kathy? You're not getting those positive comments or whatever. There's times I sit here and think, well, Monday motivation, why am I, nobody's really getting it. No one's really getting into it or whatever. And then I get an email from some of you and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it encouraged me to keep going. So, when you get that, it's hard to feel fulfilled when you're not seeing immediate results, when you're not, seeing that it's really helping anybody, whatever it may be, or helping yourself. And all you're really doing, though, is you're resisting the temptation. And let's be honest, that doesn't feel great either, right? So why not flip the script on your spending habits? Let's make your avoidance of unnecessary spending, unnecessary purchases, a bit more visible and fun. I like this idea. Open up a savings account and let's name it after something that you desire. Let's say it's a leather jacket fund, or it's, brand new shoes fund, or whatever you want to name it. And every time you decide to skip a purchase, transfer that same amount into your savings. You're going to spend it. You would have spent it anyways. Why not transfer it to your savings? Maybe you decide to forego your morning coffee. That's a quick $5 in your account. Or if you skip another month of Netflix, you can toss in another $10 into your account. It's like setting up a little reward system just for you. And then watching that money grow towards your dream jacket is way more satisfying than feeling deprived. You're actually rewarding yourself for doing less. And you might build it up so much, you're like, I don't need that leather jacket. Let's go for bigger, Are you looking to cut back on dining out and whip up more meals at home? Here's a fun idea. Name your savings account trip to Hawaii, trip to Europe, trip to wherever it may be, or wherever you want to go. Every time you choose to stay in, instead of going out to eat, transfer $50 into the account, because that's about what it is now to go out to eat, even when it's regular fast food. Transfer $50 into that account, and by the end of the year, you'll have a nice little sum. You might not have all of it maybe, but you're going to have a nice sum ready to go to put towards that dream vacation. It's essential to choose short-term rewards that support your identity instead of undermining it. For instance, splurging on a new jacket, it can feel great, right? If you're on a weight loss journey or aiming to read more books, all that can feel great when you splurge on those things. But if you're focused on budgeting and savings, it might not be the best choice, right? Instead, treat yourself to a relaxing bubble bath or a leisurely walk. These rewards give you some precious free time while also keeping you in line with your goal of achieving more freedom and financial independence. Likewise, if you think rewarding yourself after workout means indulge in a bowl of ice cream, Robert and I used to walk all the way to the end of our main street out here outside our neighborhood. All the way down, there was a yogurt place, and we would get us a bowl of yogurt and eat it on the way back. But if your workout means indulging in a bowl of ice cream, you're contradicting your own identity, and it won't help you in the long run. A better opinion could be a soothing massage, which not only feels like a treat, but it also shows that you care for your body as well. With this approach, your short-term rewards will be in harmony with your long-term vision of living a healthy lifestyle. I read that. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate that so much. So as you start to feel better, you're getting a boost in your mood, you're more energy, you're less stressed, you'll find yourself less focused on the rewards that come from outside. The shift, it happens when your identity becomes the real motivation. You're engaged in these habits simply because they resonate with who you are, and it feels great to embrace that. The more these habits become a part of your daily routine, the less you're going to rely on external motivation to keep you going. Sure, initial incentives can help you start a new habit, but it's the identity that helps you maintain it. It's important to remember that building a new identity and gathering evidence takes time. In the meantime, celebrating the small wins can boost your motivation while you're waiting for those bigger rewards to come in. To put it simply, for a habit to stick, it has to be fun. little rewards like using soap that smells amazing, enjoying a minty fresh toothpaste, or seeing a $50 added to your savings account. It can give you that instant happiness that you need to keep up with a routine. When something is enjoyable, making a change becomes a breeze. So let's review what we have covered tonight. First, the fourth law of behavior change is make it satisfying. All right, Robin, got you, girl. Make it satisfying. The second thing that we are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. We also learned that the human brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. Well, that's a good thing. I like that. That's encouraging so much for me to keep doing this. She said, Steph said, appreciate you and all you do to make Monday motivation what it is. Mr. says, if I miss Monday motivation, it's rough here for the first 3 days of the week. Wow, what a compliment. You know, thank you guys. So the fourth thing that we learned was that the cardinal rule of behavior change, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. And then we covered that to get a habit to stick, you need to feel immediately successful, even if it's in some small sort of way. And lastly, that the first three laws of behavior change, make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy, increase the odds that behavior will be performed this time. And the fourth law of behavior change is make it satisfying. And that increases the odds that behavior will be repeated next time. So guys, that is it. Thank you guys for starting off your week with me for Monday Motivation. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you got something out of tonight's topic that you can apply somewhere in your life today, tomorrow, this week. I hope there's something that encourages you to keep going, to keep pushing yourself, to keep those habits that you're doing, like videoing, walking, whatever it may be for you. I hope there's something tonight that helps you carry that just a little bit further. So tomorrow, I will be on at 7:30 p.m. Central for a live auction of Slightly Unhinged, Sanity sold separately. Wednesday night, I will be on over at Josie's Place, over on her channel at 6 p.m. Central. Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central is another Guest the Guest live auction. So we have a new guest this week that I'm super excited about. So come in and see who that surprise guest is. And then next Monday Motivation on episode 140, we're at 140, 10 more to 150. But next Monday is episode 140, and we're going to be discussing everyday good habits. How do we stick with those? What does all that even mean? So come on back here next Monday at 8 p.m. Central to find out. Make sure you all have done the YouTube things. You subscribe to the channel. You rung the bell for all notifications and a thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already done so. I appreciate you all. You are all, I'm reading your comments. Thank you guys. Y'all all certainly welcome. Make it a great week if I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube. Remember, what gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets punished gets avoided. Don't reward behavior you don't want to see repeated. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody.